today. Good morning, Sangha. It is an honor to be with you today. First, I would like to thank Rolly Roshi and Carmen Sensei for inviting me to offer a teisho. At the same time, I would like to apologize for taking so long to say yes. Preparing teisho is not so easy for me, but I recognize that we have a responsibility to try to give what we can to help in any way, especially these very uncertain times. Definitely, this virus has changed our lives and our ways of doing things. Sanghas coming together to sit as one is just one of them. We are even busier these days doing things at home. And I personally am grateful that we are given more time to sit. But we cannot rest in our comfort zones. Before I go into the koan that chose itself to be taken up, this might be a good occasion to mention that I am very fortunate and blessed to have been guided in my Zen practice by two outstanding teachers. From 1995 up to the present, I am blessed to have Sister Sonia Roshi as my teacher. Then, in 2003, I was instructed to go and see Nana Tess Roshi for Doksan, which I did for almost 2 years, I think. I am extremely grateful for this once-in-a-lifetime chance of being guided by two of the best Zen teachers in the Philippines. My deep gratitude to both of them knows no bounds. Deep gasho to you, Sister Sonia Roshi, and to you, Nana Tess Roshi, for guiding me along the way. The koan for today is from Hekigan, Case 44. Kazan's Beat the Drum. The koan does not have an instruction, but Kazan himself did provide instructions. I will be taking up the main case only. I did not pick this koan. It revealed itself quite repeatedly. Initially, from a personal experience at a Kenshukai held in Tagaytay in 2009. When I first attended this gathering of teachers and senior students in 2003 in Germany, I thought I was going to participate in a one-time big-time Zazen conference. I had no idea we would be asked to present a koan to the whole assembly. Each of us was assigned one koan according to our seating arrangement, beginning with the first from the miscellaneous koans. However, after about 5 years, the conduct of the Kenshukai meetings changed. Each one can now volunteer to present a koan of his or her own choice. So in 2009, on the last day of the Kenshukai, I was thankful that it was almost over, as I did not volunteer to present even one. I contented myself in listening to all the presentations. Unfortunately, when this was to be taken up, I was called to present it by Nana Tess Roshi herself. I silently said to myself then. Patay. What remains in my memory was the fact that it presented itself. So now I think it is nudging me again to be heard. Let me read it. The case. Kazan, giving instruction said, practicing and learning. It is called hearing. Completing learning. It is called being next to the fact. When you have passed through this too, it is called true passing. A monk stepped forward and asked, what is the true passing? Kazan said, beat the drum. He asked again, what is the true reality? Kazan said, beat the drum. He asked again, I do not ask about the sentence, mind itself is Buddha, but what does neither mind nor Buddha mean? Kazan said, beat the drum. The monk asked once more, when someone who knows the ultimate truth comes, how should we receive him? Kazan said, beat the drum. Kazan Muin Senji was the master of a temple on a mountain of the same name. Kazan became a monk at age 7 under Seppo, who was in his mid-70s at that time and about to pass away. So Kazan had to go to another master, Kyuho Doken Zenji. Later, Kazan settled on the mountain from which he got his name. Reading Yamada Kon Roshi's Station on the Kowan, he especially mentioned in his introduction the fact that he always recites Dogen Senji's Hotsuganmon every morning, the prayer we just recited a while ago. Kon Roshi said, and may I quote, if this holds, referring to his praying the Hotsuganmon every morning, if this holds even for an outstanding Zen master like Dogen Zenji, how much more so for ordinary persons like ourselves of inferior spirit? It is very important for us to gather together and pray with all earnestness. Prayer is in no way the specialty of the Christian. We should model our actions on the religious spirit of Dogen Zenji, with its absolute purity like a crystal clear jewel, and advance on in prayer when things are difficult. I was quite surprised with his words. Up until I read them, I thought it was up to me to provide space for silence in order to come to realization. Apparently, Kon Roshi is saying, we need to gather together and pray with all earnestness. These uncertain times definitely is leading us to prayer in many ways. For the practice of Zazen is not so easy. We encounter difficulties from circumstances that are not of our own making to our own habits, weaknesses, and lack of determination to pursue the way. Many times we are met with obstacles and we give up trying. In the directives given to us before session, we are instructed thus. People who do Zazen are people of great spirit. Let us not forget that. Let us not give in to our weaknesses. Now the case. Kazan, giving instruction said, practicing and learning, it is called hearing. Completing, learning, it is called being next to the fact. When you have passed through these two, it is called true passing. Practicing and learning, this is called hearing. Examples of hearing are listening to Teisho, reading about Zen, listening to posts and Dharma talks on YouTube, and other such materials on meditation practice. They help, definitely yes. But I remember in the early years of my practice, I was specifically advised not to read about Zen. This way of learning involves knowing from outside of us. Kazan's first teacher was Seppo, as mentioned earlier. There is a story about Seppo and his Dharma brother Ganto. Ganto was younger than Seppo, but he was the senior in the Dharma. One day, they went to visit Master Kinzan Bunsui. Along the way, there was a blizzard, so they were forced to hole up for several days. During that time, Seppo devoted himself to zazen from morning to evening. Ganto, however, did nothing but sleep the whole day. Seeing Seppo sitting the whole day, Ganto asked, "What are you doing?" Seppo explained that there was nothing he could do but to continue sitting because he could not come to peace in his heart. Ganto advised him to narrate his experiences up until then. Seppo recounted how he came to particular flashes of insight from particular words of masters, speaking in many sasenkais that he attended, and other such experiences. Then Ganto said, "Haven't you heard that anything which comes from outside the gate is not the family treasure? You must bring each individual experience forth from your own heart and totally cover heaven and earth." Upon hearing these words, Seppo came to total enlightenment. So, while listening and reading may help our practice somehow, anything that enters through the ears and eyes is not enough. We have to learn and know from inside of us. That is why we have to persevere despite obstacles until we experience it. Completing and learning. It is called being next to the fact. With continued practice, things gradually become clearer. But being next to the fact is still not the real thing. We are still separated from the true fact. When we say next to, there still exists this right here, here, that is next to something out there. After continued practice, when we are open and ready and ripe, perhaps enlightenment may come. When we have cut off our deluded thinking and come to a place of peace, despite the turmoil around us. We may think that this is it. We are already safe, and there is nothing further left to learn. However, Kazan continues, when you have passed through these two, it is called true passing. No matter how much clarity we think we have realized about ourselves and the world around us, we can never say there is nothing more to master. There is always something more. This is the world of true passing, according to Kazan. The reality of the true world is right here, right now. Just this, just now. And it is only here that we encounter our true self, the world of true passing. I quote again Ganto's words, we must bring each individual experience from our own heart and totally cover heaven and earth. This is the way to realization. Journey through your experiences with attention and see and hear and feel and touch and taste and be aware. Do not allow any moment to pass you by. True passing is here right now. You are true passing. Each one of us is true passing. The koan does not stop there. A monk stepped forward and asked, what is true passing? Kazan said, beat the drum. How does one beat the drum? Boom, 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 boom. No explanation. Just boom, 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 boom. No reasoning. Just the sound of boom, 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 boom. Or just hearing Kazan's words. Beat the drum. Yamada Ryan Roshi would say, beating the drum. It is a verb. Action. Beating the drum. Robin Habitu. Roshi would say, attention. The monk asked again, what is the true reality? Kazan said, beat the drum. What is the true reality? In Shoyoroku case number 2, when Bodhidharma was asked by Emperor Buddha question, what is the highest meaning of the holy reality? Bodhidharma replied, vast and void, no holiness. What is your true reality right now? This very moment. Kazan said, beat the drum. The monk asked again, I do not ask about the sentence, mind itself is Buddha, but what does neither mind nor Buddha mean? Kazan said, beat the drum. The monk is asking about the famous words of Baso Senji, found in cases 30 and 33 of the Mumonkan. When asked by Taibai in case 30, what is Buddha? Baso answered, mind itself is Buddha. Later, when another monk asked, what is Buddha? Baso's reply changed. He answered, neither mind nor Buddha. To the monk in the present case, Kazan replied, beat the drum. Mind is beating the drum. Buddha is beating the drum. Neither mind nor Buddha is beating the drum. The monk asked once more, when someone who knows the ultimate truth comes, how should we receive him? Kazan said, beat the drum. If Shakyamuni Buddha or Bodhidharma comes, how should we greet them? Beat the drum or beating the drum. In my hometown in Sorsogon, when high officials from Manila come to visit, the town welcomes the delegation with a parade. I was part of the high school drum and bugle corps, and we would march to the beating of drums. When Shakyamuni Buddha or Bodhidharma comes, this koan exclaims, "Welcome! Mabuhay!" In the past week, we experienced loss in our Sangha. Our members, Honorata Vicencio or Ate As, as we called her, and Grace Batalia have moved on to eternal life. Some of you have met Ate As because she started sitting in your Marikina Sendo under Sister Elaine. Personal loss has touched us too. The passing of family members of some members of our Sangha. As I speak, the whole family of a member of our Sangha who is a doctor contracted the virus. Her husband, mother, daughter, and brother have tested positive and are now confined. With her husband, who is also a doctor in critical condition. She herself has pneumonia now. Just last night, I received news that my son, who resides abroad, is exhibiting the COVID symptoms and has been tested a few hours ago, and we are just waiting for the results. With all of this happening, can I say to myself, beat the drum, Lydia? In my deepest self, can I beat this drum right now? The other evening, the song Ave Maria kept ringing in my ears. It is the song that accompanies funeral hearses in my hometown on the way to the church or cemetery. I wonder if it is still being done during this pandemic. Because here in the city, we know that people who do not survive the virus or those that have passed on because of other illnesses are cremated right away. Ave Maria is beating the drum. Beat the drum according to Kazan, no matter what. This is what we do. After we have tasted enlightenment, we cannot just rejoice and sing hallelujah. We go on. We walk straight the narrow mountain road with 99 curves, step by step. Along the way, we may have to stop and make a detour. We cannot leave someone behind that may have fallen on the wayside. He may be hungry, or sick, or confused, or lost, or dying. No matter how clear our realization is, we cannot keep it to ourselves. We have a responsibility and obligation to save all beings. We recite it all the time. We vow to free them all. Beat the drum. The other day, after my morning sit, as I was ringing the bell, my attention was caught in its sound, slowly and softly dissolving. Into eternity, it seemed. As the sound softly disappeared, what came from the silence was Shakyamuni Buddha is beating the drum right now. And coronavirus is beating the drum. As I mentioned earlier, I will not be taking up the verse. Instead, I would like to simply read case 33 of Hekiganroku. Not to speak about the koan, but to bring forth an image that keeps coming to me in recent days. The case. Chinso has one eye. National Secretary Chinso went to see Shifuku. When Shifuku saw him coming, he drew a circle. Chinso said, "It is already straying from the essence that your student has come to you at all. Why do you draw a circle in addition to that?" Thereupon, Shifuku closed the door of his room. Setsu said, "Chinso has but one eye." I call attention to the circle. In most sendos, we have a logo, a circle, usually drawn with one stroke. While we are not after symbols or trying to find meaning in these circles in our Sangha logos, I feel drawn to the circle because we are the circle. We are Sangha and we are one and whole. It does not matter where we are or what time we sit or whether we sit alone or simultaneously. It is always good to sit together. Around the 11th year of my practice, I had a crisis. I was trying to discern whether I should continue or not. Sangha was with me the whole time. I was welcomed into the home and zendo of our Dharma brothers and sisters. My deep gasho to you. You know who you are. When we sit, we are one, regardless of distance, time, location. The whole universe is our zendo. We are one from the very start. And we have no beginning and no end. We are the circle. We are living and dying. And we are beating as one. Let us keep on beating. Thank you.